Hey everyone, Jay Whitner here with Space Headlines. We do a quick recap each week of what's going on in space. And today we're going to be talking about the fourth week of January 2019. Our first story has to do with SpaceX and their upcoming BFR rocket. The big news is there's been a change in the design. They had planned to have the rocket's skin be made of carbon fiber. The new design calls for the skin to be made out of stainless steel, which has prompted a lot of questions from the space community about the pros and cons of doing this. So one benefit of making the skin out of stainless steel is it's far, far less expensive. They do plan to make a lot of these rockets that are very, very large, so there's a cost savings in the material itself. Additionally, the rocket has a wide temperature range of operation. At the beginning, it's filled with super cold fuels, so it's a very cold temperature. And during the reentry process, the exterior gets very, very hot. And the problem is that carbon fiber doesn't do so well at these temperature extremes, and stainless steel does. So that's another big benefit. Because it's better with the temperatures, that simplifies the thermal protection system, the heat shield equivalent for the rocket. So there's a lot of benefits for these changes, and SpaceX, and in particular Elon Musk, feels this is going to allow them to accelerate development of the rocket. As part of that development, they are working with a small sort of a scaled-down version of the BFR. They did something similar when they developed the Falcon 9 rocket a couple of years ago. So the idea here is the small rocket was outside, and high winds caused the nose cone of this test vehicle for low altitude hop testing. The nose cone was knocked off. This is going to delay these test flights by a few weeks, maybe a month. And the bottom line appears to be that this scaled down vehicle, it's still 130 feet tall. And it does not seem that SpaceX has a hangar large enough at that Texas facility to hold something 130 feet tall vertically. So it was outside and the wind caused this damage, but apparently it's only going to set things back a few weeks. The Hubble Space Telescope is back in action, and a really interesting image was recently released. This is an ultra deep field image, which they've done a few times in the past. It's always a groundbreaking thing for astronomy. I think the last one that they did, this deep field proposition, was back in 2012, so it's been a while since they did one of these. It's a lot of computer time because they massage a lot of different images, they clean things up, and they combine these images to make this picture. So the astronomers are having a field day with all this. And it's interesting. They're finding out all kinds of things from this image. That this new data, for example, shows that some galaxies are twice as big as they thought they were before. So interesting stuff. Arianespace is cutting pricing on their rocket launch services. Their Ariane 5 rocket has been around for a long time. It's a very reliable rocket with customers that have been flying on it for many years. But the pricing is really, really high compared to SpaceX. They're cutting their prices. So this will definitely cut the price differential down, but there's still going to be more than 50% higher pricing after the discount than the SpaceX rocket. So it's not clear to me that they're going far enough to really secure business in this way, but it seems like it will help. And the overall global launch market, the price for the total launch services is about $6 billion. So the competition is really significant. Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos' space company, has started building a rocket engine factory. It's located in Huntsville, Alabama. The engine that they're building is called the BE-4. It runs on methane and oxygen. And it's a very powerful engine. It's the thrust amount is 550,000 pounds. And this engine is going to be used in two different rockets. Blue Origin's upcoming rocket, the New Glenn, and the United Launch Alliance's new rocket called the Vulcan. So this engine is going to be used in both, and it's a big deal for Huntsville. The factory is an over $200 million adventure. It's going to make over 300 jobs. So Huntsville is quite excited to have this going on. 3D printing continues to be ubiquitous in society. There's 3D printing. If you go down to like Best Buy, you can get a 3D printer. So this is everywhere, and everywhere includes space. So there's 3D printing already in space. The first 3D printed item in space was a tool that was made on the International Space Station by a company called Made in Space. That was sort of the formal kickoff of 3D printing in space. There's huge applications for this. It costs still, even with the tech gains in space launch, it's still very expensive to put things up in space. So the idea here is that 3D printing can be used to build things out of local materials. So if you wanted to build a base on the moon, instead of carrying every single thing from Earth up to the moon, some of the simple, bulky things could be made out of lunar materials. So the dirt of the moon, which is really, it's called regolith. It's like tiny ground up stone, basically, rocks. This can be used as feedstock for a 3D printer. So instead of lifting these heavy things from Earth, they can be made on the moon and on Mars. There are also small satellites being manufactured now using 3D printing. So this is going to continue to grow, and it's going to be a key technology moving forward. Blue Origin won a nice launch contract. They're going to launch multiple satellites for a company called Telesat. So it's not just multiple satellites, they're going to be deployed on multiple different trips. And Telesat is the 5th customer to sign a contract with Blue Origin. And the New Glenn rocket is still on schedule for its first flight in 2021. So this is a relatively short-term situation, and we'll see their New Glenn rocket fly. That's it for Space Headlines covering the 4th week of January. So stay tuned, check back with us, and we'll be back soon with the first week of February. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.